Imagine a time, not so long ago, when an empire, vast and unstoppable, met its match, not on the battlefields of Europe, but on the shimmering lagoons of West Africa. This was a clash of titans, hidden in the forgotten pages of history, a story of a king, a city, and a defiance so profound it shook the very foundations of colonial ambition. This isn't just history. It's the heartbeat of a people, echoing through time. This is the story they tried to bury. For decades, you've heard about the rise of empires and the grand narratives of conquest. But today, we peel back the layers to reveal a truth often whispered, rarely broadcast. The year is 1851. The jewel of the West African coast, the thriving kingdom of Lagos, stands at a precipice. On one side stands a formidable African king, fiercely independent, his spirit as untamed as the ocean waves. On the other, the might of the British Empire, casting its shadow across continents with an insatiable hunger for control. What happened next wasn't just a battle. It was a desperate struggle for sovereignty, a testament to resilience, and a brutal lesson in the true cost of power. Get ready, because the story you are about to hear will challenge everything you thought you knew about African resistance and the true motives behind colonial expansion. Before we dive deeper into this epic saga, if you're as passionate about untold African histories as we are, hit that subscribe button now. Join the African Stories with Drey family and uncover more incredible narratives that shaped our world. Don't miss out on another groundbreaking story like this one. And while you're at it, smash that like button. It truly helps us bring more of these hidden gems to light. To truly grasp the magnitude of what unfolded, we must first understand Lagos itself. This wasn't just a patch of land. It was a pulsating heart of trade, culture, and strategic power. By the early 19th century, Lagos, or as it was known to its people, was a formidable city-state built on a series of islands and the mainland. Its intricate network of lagoons and waterways made it a natural fortress, but also a commercial artery connecting the interior Yoruba kingdoms to the vast Atlantic. Fortunes were made and lost daily. Canoes laden with goods navigated the waterways, carrying textiles, agricultural produce, and raw materials from deep within Yoruba land. These goods were then exchanged for European commodities like textiles, salt, and manufactured goods. Lagos was a linchpin, a crucial bridge in a global economic system. Its strategic location meant that whoever controlled Lagos controlled the wealth and influence of a significant portion of West Africa. But behind the bustling markets lay a complex world of royal succession and fierce political rivalries. The throne of Lagos was not simply inherited. It was fiercely contested, a prize sought by powerful princes within the house of Ologun Kuta. For decades, the political landscape was shaped by ambitious individuals and the constant struggle for ultimate authority. Two prominent figures emerged from the royal lineage, Akitoye and Kosoko. Akitoye was perceived as more diplomatic, while Kosoko was young, charismatic, and possessed an unyielding spirit. In 1841, Akitoye ascended to the throne, but his reign was marked by tension. Perceiving Kosoko as a threat, Akitoye attempted to neutralize him, but the attempt failed. Forced into exile, Kosoko didn't simply disappear. He strategically withdrew, gathering a formidable number of loyal chiefs, warriors, and powerful traders. He established a new base, gathering strength and biding his time. His exile wasn't an end. It was the forging of an unshakable resolve. For 4 long years, Kosoko watched from the shadows. In 1845, he launched a massive amphibious assault on Lagos known as Ogunolamiro, the Saltwater War. It wasn't just a skirmish. It was a total reclamation. For 21 days, the struggle intensified until Akitoye's forces could no longer withstand the ferocity of Kosako's loyalists. As the city fell, Akitoye was forced to flee toward Badagry. Kosoko was crowned Oba of Lagos, ruling as the most defiant monarch West Africa had ever seen. Under King Kosoko, Lagos became a fortress of independence. He was a master diplomat, balancing relationships with foreign merchants to ensure his kingdom remained wealthy and well-armed. But this independence was exactly what the British Empire could not tolerate. In London, the narrative shifted. They called Kosoko a tyrant, but the truth was more complex. While Britain pushed for the abolition of the slave trade, they were equally desperate to control the green gold of the era palm oil. Kosoko's real sin was saying, No to a British monopoly. While Kosoko built his defenses, the exiled Akitoye was making a deal with the British. In 1851, he met with Consul John Beecroft, promising to sign any treaty the British desired if they restored him to the throne. This was the golden ticket the British needed. They now had a legitimate reason to invade to restore a rightful king and supposedly end the slave trade. The trap was set, and the most powerful navy in the world was steaming toward the Lagoon of Echo. On November 25, 1851, the British attempted a show of force, but they underestimated the Lion of Lagos. Kosoko had fortified the riverbanks with heavy cannons and thousands of musketeers as the British boats tried to enter the channel. Kosoko's gunners opened fire. The British were humiliated, suffering heavy casualties and being forced to retreat to the open sea. It was a stunning victory for African resistance, but in the halls of the British Empire, it meant only one thing: total war. The tension is rising, and the true battle is about to begin. If you are feeling the power of our ancestors' resistance, let us know in the comments. We are African Stories with Drey, and we are dedicated to telling our history with the honor it deserves. If you haven't yet, subscribe right now and hit the bell icon. We want to reach 100,000 proud Africans and history lovers. Be part of that legacy. Tell us in the comments right now, who do you think was the real hero so far? Christmas 1851. While the world celebrated, Lagos prepared for the end. The British returned with a massive invasion force, including warships like the HMS Penelope and HMS Teaser. This was no longer a diplomatic mission. It was a mission of search and destroy. For 3 days, from December 26 to December 28, the British launched a relentless bombardment. Rocket tubes fired into the city, turning the wooden architecture of Lagos into a towering inferno. Despite the fire, the resistance was legendary. Kosoko's men didn't run. They fought from the smoking ruins, using the geography of the lagoon to trap British landing parties. British records admit they had never faced such determined and organized resistance on the African coast. However, the sheer weight of British industrial firepower eventually became too much. By the evening of the 28th, the city was a graveyard of ash. To save his people from total massacre, King Kosoko made a strategic withdrawal to Ypres. He did not surrender. He moved his court, vowing that the British would never truly own the spirit of Lagos. On New Year's Day, 1852, Akitoye was reinstalled and signed a treaty effectively handing over the keys to the kingdom. The British flag was raised, but the shadow of the exiled lion, Kosoko, still loomed over the water. Most kings, once driven from their capital, but Kosoko established a rival kingdom in Ypres that haunted the British for over a decade. He controlled the trade routes from the interior, bypassing British-controlled Lagos so effectively that British merchants began to go broke. For years, the occupiers lived in fear of his return, eventually being forced to sign a peace treaty with him in 1854 just to stabilize their own trade. The British promise to Akitoye's lineage was ultimately hollow. By 1861, they grew tired of even their puppet kings and forced Akitoye's successor, Obado Sanmu, to sign the Treaty of Cession. This was the birth of the colony of Lagos. The protection they offered turned into a total takeover. Kosoko eventually returned to Lagos in his final years, not as a king, but as a high chief. He died in 1872, having looked the British Empire in the eye and refused to blink. So what is the lesson of the Lagos War? It teaches us that unity is our greatest defense and division is an invader's greatest weapon. The British won because they exploited the rift between Akitoye and Kosoko. It also teaches us the power of dignity in defiance. Kosoko proved that African leaders were master tacticians and warriors who fought the most powerful empire on earth to a standstill. Our history didn't start with colonization. It started with kings who fought to keep us free. The story of King Kosoko is a reminder that the ground we walk on in Lagos was bought with the blood and bravery of those who came before us. Now, I want to hear from you in the comments below. Tell us, which African story should we tell next? Is there a hero or a queen from your village or your country that the world needs to know about? Drop their name in the comments. We read every single one. Before you go, look at that subscribe button. If it's still red, you're missing out on the heartbeat of our continent. Join African Stories with Drey right now. Let's hit our goal and keep our history alive together. I am Drey, and this has been the story of the Lagos War. Thank you for watching, and remember, our past is the key to our future. See you in the next story.